What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great day. I'm doing all right. Hanging in there, you know what I mean? Um, some stuff just popped up in my mind, so I wanted to get right into it. Um, if you're somebody who doesn't see that we're constantly living in spiritual warfare, allow me to elaborate. Because all you probably see is stuff going on in the physical realm. My body, your bodies, this mattress, this cheap thing of spray. Watch. Smells good. Everything you see is like physical, right? So you're not able to see in the spiritual, but it's all the same thing. And everything you see boils down to two things, like the state of duality that Freemasons believe in so heavily, with the black and white checkered board symbolizing good and evil, purity and destruction, chaos and love, or love and chaos. Good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, right? It's good and evil. It's all good and evil. And this is how they break things down. But there's also another approach, which is where everything is one, everything is connected. And when you have a spiritual awakening, that's what you realize. So you realize that the earth that we live on is beautiful and everything's connected and one. But the man made matrix that they built over this world that also coexists with this world now, that is in a state of duality at all times. You have people who work as judges, and many of them are good judges, and they use their moral character and outstanding characteristics coupled with their mental intelligence and intellect and stuff like that in order to make the best decisions moving forward on every single case that they do. They do a great job. But I need you to understand there's also going to be a smaller amount in that field, if you will, of compromised judges who are going to allow people who should really be getting the death penalty, but they're going to allow them to not even do a day in jail, or they're going to allow them to do 6 months, or they're going to find a technicality and to get some hush money and let you go off on a thing and make you jump through some hoops, but that's it. Or you know what I mean? So there's good and bad on both. There's always going to be good and bad when it comes to a description of something that you do here on earth. Musicians, some of them preach good stuff, and they're talking about, they expose the evil, and some people are the evil. They are that. Do you understand? And it's not limited to, he used an example of a musician and a judge. It is everything, because we have a choice. We have freedom of choice, okay? So you can choose to be a good person and gravitate towards things that are going to help others and help yourself and help the world, or you can choose to create chaos, destruction, division, jealousy, envy, hatred, all those things and more. You know what I mean? So you either gravitate towards one side or the other. Some people who maybe they were good and then they had a bunch of bad things happen to them and they turned down the wrong path and they haven't veered back yet and they haven't found a way back. And that is where spirituality and religion come in, because they save millions of people who are lost, okay? Jesus is looking for the lost sheep, and he is the great shepherd, the good shepherd, who guides them back onto the narrow path. For wide are the gates to hell, but narrow is the path to heaven. Do you get it? So, but you see this, and then, so you're with me here, right? So you understand, yes, a lot of these occupations can hire people who are using it for good or using it for bad. The talent or the occupation is simply the gift, and the way you use it is up to you. Okay? So you're with me, you get it. Now, let's talk the political spectrum for a second, right? Just because you see it with musicians and judges doesn't mean that if you get into the government, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and you put your hand on the Bible. Bro, you don't think some of them are going like this behind their back when they put their hand on the Bible secretly? Not really, but you get what I mean? Like, it's a metaphor for they're not standing firm on their word. They're not standing firm on that promise that they delivered to America. You get it? So a lot of these people are just shakers and bakers, dude, and they play for the other team. You need to understand this. And we're at the point where our governments have, in fact, been infiltrated by people who play for the other team, who work for Satan, And their whole goal is divide and conquer and ordo ab chao, which is order out of chaos. They want to create chaos so that we're running at each other. Oh, I hate you. I'm from the left and you're from the right, or I'm from the right, you're from the left, and we hate each other. Let's fight. And then people get shot, people are dying, all this crazy stuff, right? That's the chaos that they created. You think it's you, like, oh, we started it. No, they planted ideas in your head till you snapped, and they're working you like puppet masters, bro. And once you awaken to it, you can never unsee it. There's no going back to being dumb and taking the blue pill and waking up the next day as if nothing happened. You already took the red pill. You already went down the rabbit hole. It's too late. There's no turning back. But the good thing is, once you know this, you're now at a way different level than about 90% of the population. So congratulations, you have made it into the top 5 or 10% of people who really know what's going on, and the spell doesn't work anymore. Avada Kedavra, all that bullshit. It bounces right off me, homie. It does not touch me anymore because I know better. That is God bestowing me with discernment, with intuition, with these gifts from the Holy Spirit. Do you understand? Okay, so this is spiritual warfare, but it's manifested in the physical realm. This is why you see people get into positions of government, because they want to govern or overwatch your mental capacity, your mind. They want to govern your mind, the government, mental. This is it, okay? So, but people think, oh, I trust my government and God bless the USA. You get that second part right, buddy. God bless the USA. And I am proud to be American, and I do love this country, bro. But I'm not going to put all my trust into people who could be playing for the wrong team. And a lot of the things that have been coming out the past 10 to 40 years have proved that many people in the government work for the wrong team. They play for Satan, bro, because they're pushing all these laws and stuff that help them but hurt the many. That's not what somebody would be doing if they're playing on the side of justice and morality. Do you understand? These people get found out doing crazy things to children, or eating humans, or eating children, or doing all these crazy things, or scaring the kids so that right before they think they're going to die, and then this thing goes off called adrenochrome in their body, and you take the blood from them right there in that moment, and you can drink the blood, and it keeps you young, and it makes them feel like, yeah, like meth. It's like super meth, but also keeps you young instead of ages you, because we all know meth makes people have those crazy lines on their face. It can make your forehead grow, and you can look like a freak, bro, and you'll lose your teeth. It is not worth it, right? But to them, it's actually keeping them young. It's making them, when they're 57, they look like they're 21, and they pride themselves on that, and they don't care where the blood comes from or how you get the blood, right? Of course, this is all conspiracy jargon and stuff like that. We can't prove it. I can't prove it, but I just know that everything, even if it is fake, then okay, then it's being used to make us like overthink things and like get too wrapped up and get sucked into the circus, bro. So what you need to do, what I would suggest, is to calm down for a second, disconnect from the system. And it has to be one thing at a time. You can't just fully unplug, shut your phone off, never watch the news again, do this. Maybe you can. That would show great strength. But I'm not going to recommend that when I know that 80% of people are going to fail in the first week, because I would. But you can make small changes in your life. Like, perhaps the first thing you can do is question somebody's motive when they say, oh, I'm doing this. Question, did they do that? Did they pass that law because that's what they really want to do? Or did they pass that law because they owed a favor to somebody for some money and for getting them out of trouble? You have no idea where it's coming from. So to try to make sense of this will help you navigate the path much better, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because for all we know, it's all smoke and mirrors, and it's all to distract us. So we need to zero in and focus on our own energy, right? So if we vibrate up here, but we watch the news every day, and the news is all chaos and destruction and death, right? Then all of a sudden, within 6 months of watching the news, we're going to be way down here. So we go, shoo, and that's what they want. They want to siphon our good energy. They want to keep us in good worker bee mode, because they don't want anybody to grow up and become the queen bee, girl, right? And they don't want anybody to grow up to get a crown on their head and become a king in their own right, right? They want us to stay deaf, dumb, blind, dead, stupid, ignorant, especially ignorant, not knowing. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So this is it though, but I'm just explaining, dude. Anything that started out as like a good ideal or pure in spirit in the beginning, it eventually gets infiltrated by evil, because evil knows it's being used for good, and it goes, I have to hijack the system and actually use it for our good, which is for bad things, okay? So it gets hijacked. So the government was probably a great thing at first. We're going to govern the people. We're going to help them. We're going to build together. And then it got infiltrated by evil here. Then the evil recruited more and said, oh, we're going to keep getting away with it. Then eventually it became more evil than good. I mean, why would the director of the CIA in 1981 or whatever, he would say, we will know our disinformation campaign is complete when everything the public believes is a lie. So why would he say that and admit that? and it's proven and it's on record. And it's not just some crazy conspiracy theory, because yeah, I do like to check out the conspiracy theories and everything, but I never let it get the best of me for the most part, right? But he said this. He used these exact words, bro. So you can't just like shake it off and be like, oh well, no, because no, dude. He said that they, our own three-letter agency within our own government in America, is using these things. He said disinformation campaign, which means intentionally releasing falsehoods as the truth, and make us constantly believe these lies until we don't even know which way is left, right, up, and down. For all we know, up is down and right is left. Like you get what I'm saying? They will make you at the point where you can't even question reality because you don't even know what reality is or who the hell you are. Those are the first two questions you got to answer before you can dive into things like this, my friend. But that's all, it's just rant over, I guess. But I'm just trying to make you see the big picture that it all boils down to good and evil. So, in a way, the Masons are right. It does boil down on this earth, we're all connected because we all have a heartbeat and a soul and a rhythm and we're living. So are the squirrels that are the wild squirrels that I feed and that I love so much, the birds. My dog who I had as a kid, I had a beagle growing up. He was awesome, Chester. All animals, humans, every living thing, we're all connected, divinely connected. That is planet Earth. That's what God created. He created the heavens and the earth, right? But what you see with your own eyes nowadays is the man-made matrix that they built right over. Here's the world, right? This is planet Earth, and they built the matrix right over it, like on top of it, inside it, around it, everything. It encompasses everything. So if you look and you see the trees, maybe you're at peace. But you look and you see man-made buildings with all these miserable dudes with suit and ties on, being like, "I'm late for my meeting," drinking coffee, and you're like, "Oh my God, what are we surrounded by? I hate this. I hate the world." You don't hate the world. You hate the matrix, my friend. There are two different things existing simultaneously together as one, and you need to be able to see the difference, okay? So that's all I'm getting at. Rant over. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. That's all I got. So until next time, stay safe, be blessed, and live lavishly. I will see y'all in the next one. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel. And I love you all. Peace. Ooh, flip the camera.